What's up guys, it's Roger and welcome back to the channel. And today I just want to cover some different topics such as some misconceptions people seem to have about Blink quite often, and definitely going into depth about what mobility to use with your Blink Hunter. I know that can be a point of contention, and although I have brought it up in some past videos, I just kind of brought it up in passing, and I wanted to kind of dedicate at least half of this video to talking about that and just really saying my piece on it, because after all these months I have really found what I think is the perfect answer to what mobility you should run on your Hunter, although there is no one-size-fits-all answer when it comes to that. But first I do want to talk about some Blink misconceptions. Now there's some things that I see quite a bit coming up when people are asking me comments or whatnot, or they're in my server and they say, hey Roger, so when I'm using transversive steps or stompies, I feel like my Blink is going further. Is it actually, or is that kind of a placebo? What's going on? And I do tell them, look, the only thing in this game that makes your actual Blink distance go further is Astrocyte Verse, okay? So the only thing that's actually going to extend the length and the verticality, technically, of your Blink is Astrocyte Verse. Now here is something that I noticed when I was doing a little bit of testing, because I have people ask me that, do I have a higher tiers mobility if I have more sprint speed bonus? Like, you do get a 6.25% sprint speed bonus from two things in this game, or a couple of things in this game, but it can only stack up to 2 times to a 12.5% sprint speed bonus. One of those things is lightweight frame weapons, which is why I always use lightweight frame shotguns like you see in this gameplay today. The other thing is stompies or transversive steps. I think there is something else out there, but pardon me for forgetting that right now. But those two things, you can stack those together and get up to a 12.5% sprint speed bonus, right? That's great. And you can also get, 20 plus mobility from your lightweight frame weapons. So in the gameplay you're seeing right now, I actually am at 100 mobility when I have that lightweight frame weapon out, and I also have that sprint speed bonus. And from what I've seen, kind of just going into some private matches a little while ago, because I was interested, I thought, okay, well maybe I'm actually wrong, I want to test this. So I went in there for like 30 minutes and I was kind of just doing different tests of different mobilities and different weapons out, doing different sprint speed bonus type things. And I think I understand what's happening, and this is how I'm starting to understand it. So your Blink distance itself, when you go into a Blink and then when you exit that Blink, that does not change, okay? So what I think is happening though is when you exit that Blink, you are still getting distance from your extra mobility or sprint speed bonuses that are applied to your character at that very moment. So when you come out of that Blink, as you exit the Blink, that sprint speed bonus kicks back in, right? Your level of mobility kicks back in, and so those things lend you to actually traveling farther as you exit the Blink. That is what I started to notice, and I think that is something that actually happens. So when people are seeing these things, I don't necessarily want to say that it is a placebo. I think the placebo that people are noticing when they have something like stompies or transversives on with their Blink is the fact that you do, I think, maybe go a little further, but what you go further is not the actual Blink distance, but the amount of area you can travel, the amount of distance you can travel after you exit the Blink and before you kind of hit the ground. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying, but just so I can kind of put it into layman's terms, just very, very simply, as clear as I can put it, I think what is happening is when you have those bonuses to your movement speed or sprint speed after you exit the Blink, the distance you cover with those bonuses is what people are thinking of as the Blink. But you need to understand, the only thing that counts as the distance of a Blink is the moment that you enter a Blink to the moment you exit it. That is a Blink's distance, okay? Everything before, as in right there, you saw right there, I just went into a Blink. That second before I actually clicked to go into my Blink, when I click my second jump, press of my spacebar to go into that Blink, and then the moment that I exit that Blink, that is the entire duration of a Blink. Any kind of movement as I come out of that Blink right there, you saw how I was kind of floating for about half a second before I actually hit the ground. That is not Blink anymore. That's not a Blink's distance, okay? So as soon as those animations end, your Blink is over. But I do think that having those sprint speed bonuses, specifically those sprint speed bonuses, although higher tiers mobility might play some sort of factor in it, but I think those sprint speed bonuses especially are playing a big part in it, is that they do happen to give you a little more distance as you come out of that Blink, but that is not a Blink's distance. That is just something that is a byproduct, I suppose I would say, from the sprint speed bonus. It's just like if you were to jump as you were running and you had a hunter jump, for example, you're going to go farther if you are already sprinting and you jump into midair and you go through that jump. Because you'll notice something else that happens if you go through a blink. As you exit that blink, if you were sprinting as you went into the blink and you exit it, you can immediately slide as you exit out of that blink. That's because your sprint doesn't turn off as you go through that blink. If you keep your shift on, I shouldn't say shift, but I press shift to go into a sprint. If you start sprinting and go into a blink, when you exit that blink, you are still sprinting. Your sprint never turned off. So I think that is what's happening. That's why you'll notice you can slide as you exit out of a blink. That's what makes blink shotgunning so good, because you can exit a blink, immediately slide, and you can keep sliding. You can only slide after you started sprinting. So you gotta understand, well, I'm able to slide as I come out of a blink. Yeah, that's because you exit that blink with whatever movement you still had going into that blink. If you were just walking as you went into that blink, you would come out of it with the momentum of just walking. If you went into it while you were sprinting, you would come out of that blink with the momentum and with the input still on as you are sprinting. So the game sees that as, oh, you were sprinting throughout the entire movement ability, and you come out of that and you can go straight into a slide, and that carries over into the distance that you get as you exit that blink. So hopefully that clears up anything for anybody who was asking about that or is maybe wondering about that. If you would like to go into a private match or whatever of your own and kind of see what I mean, or maybe I'll even do it one day in a video. If you really do want to see that, I can probably put something like that together, but I just kind of wanted to describe the concept to you of what I have started to notice. Look at that beautiful flashbang grenade. Sorry, I had to call that out. I'm getting pretty good with those flashbangs, and I'm proud of it. That is what I have started to notice is happening, I think, when it comes to those sprint speed bonuses and those mobility bonuses applying to your blink distance. But again, the actual distance of the blink is only affected by something, well, literally by astrocyte burst. Like, it's only astrocyte burst. Hey, Bungie, give us an equivalent of astrocyte burst for blink hunters, because, like, I feel naked half the time. I don't need to use astrocyte anymore after the buffs, but, like, come on, dude. Nobody cares about Graviton Forfeit anymore. Is that what it's called? Or is it Blight Rangers? I think it's Blight Rangers. People were like, yo, make Blight Rangers the exotic for Blink Hunters. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I mean, just come on, give us something at least. That's not the point. There is something else I wanted to talk about, which is max mobility on Hunter, like I was saying in the intro. So people ask me all the time, Roger, what do you think the mobility is for my Blink Hunter? It's a trade-off, right? I can go 100 mobile, and then I can have as much class ability regeneration as possible, because your mobility stat is directly tied to the cooldown of your class ability when it comes to hunters. So that's something we need to keep in mind, but at the same time, you don't want to have max mobility necessarily when it comes to combination with your blink, because what happens is the higher level of mobility you have, the longer it takes for you to reach the apex of your jump. So the longer it takes for you to be able to get off a horizontal blink. I had a subscriber a while ago, shout out to you, Decaf Daddy, and he said so much, he was asking me so much about the jumping with your level of mobility. Does it actually affect it like we think it does, or do all jumps actually come down at the same exact time? And we've just kind of tricked ourselves. I did some testing with that as well, and from what I noticed, even I broke it down frame by frame in my editing software, doing different mobilities and their jumps with tap jumping and even hold jumping, because there is differences there as well. And I can tell you, a higher tier of mobility is going to make it to where you take a few extra frames before you do start coming down to a descent. So it does take longer before you actually start coming down from a jump with higher tiers of mobility. I've been telling you that for a while, but I did test it just to make sure a while ago. So know that that is very factual information. Hopefully that helps you out, makes you feel a little more calm and understanding of what is happening when I say that kind of stuff. But when it comes to Hunter, in my opinion, in my professional opinion, let me give you my little prescription here, write it down for you, and ignore this play because I got my booty cheek smacked and I'm sad about it. But I do not think you need to run max mobility with Hunter. Like I said, in this play right now, in this gameplay right now, I do have 100 mobility when I go with my shotgun because I have 80 mobility plus the 20 from my lightweight frame shotgun, right? But there are so many ways to get your dodge ability energy back. You don't need 100 mobile. So when I see people saying, well, you're on a Hunter, and I think people look at it and they say, I have to have a 100 mobility because I'm on Hunter. But it's just not true, and I think if you can really get that out of your head and get that kind of, well, another misconception that you need 100 mobility on Hunter out of your head, then I think you would be in a much better spot and you could perform better overall. And you could really start putting your stats also towards some better places. You can make sure you have 100 recovery, and then you could go and put some more of those stat points into your discipline or your resilience, things that kind of matter more than mobility in this current meta. So that is really all that. But I just want to say, yeah, you do not have to have 100 mobility, but also I do tell people every time they comment something like that, this is as simple to you as I can put it. Whatever feels comfortable to you, whatever exotics feel comfortable to you, whatever mobility level feels comfortable to you, whatever weapons feel comfortable to you, and you feel good on them with your blink, please, by all means, use that. I can sit here all day and show you what weapons I flourish with, what mobility tiers I flourish with, what exotics I enjoy, but at the end of the day, I'm not you and you're not me. And you can learn from my play, yes, but if you feel comfortable with something and you are good with it, then by all means go ahead and use that. If you want to leave me a like on this video, I'd very much appreciate that. But we are reaching the end here, so I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate you guys. Let me know if this helped you in the comments because I'd love to know if I help you at all. And that is it for me today. So, as always, have a great day, Guardians.